My personal opinion, I think, sometimes you have one of those things, it's like when a movie star decides to be a singer, or, sometimes it's like you just do what you're good at doing. And sometimes there are, to quote Clint Eastwood, right, a man or a woman's got to know their limitations. And a lot of people don't, and they think that they can do one thing as well as they can do something else, and it doesn't always work out that way. Speaking of music, this is kind of maybe a fortuitous segue, because this next poem is a cento. Is everybody familiar with this form? I've only recently learned about it. I don't know exactly the actual historical lineage of the cento, but here's what I do know about it. It is essentially a found poem in the sense that you're taking lines from other poems and combining them to make a new poem, basically. And this can be a powerful exercise. So you're essentially almost using a collage of language, and you're reassembling and making something new out of it. It's kind of a cool experiment. So this is called Headlong into the Cloudburst Naked, and it's a cento based upon 1980s Cold War era inspired nuclear themed songs. And it was kind of an interesting thing that came out of it. So it's called Headlong into the Cloudburst Naked, which I believe is from a Thomas Dolby song, if I can remember. I don't know if I've ever even heard the song. I only know, what is it, Blinded by Science, is that famous Thomas Dolby song. But I think this is a line from one of his songs, and then it's just cobbled together from a variety of different, there was an archive on the internet that I kind of was able to find these lyrics in one place, and it was pretty convenient. So it's called Headlong into the Cloudburst Naked, Atomic Bomb Cento of 1980 songs referencing nuclear war. The sunrise, well, it buries the night, such a night of splendor. I pull my motor over. It's all too late. It's all too late. Everybody's waiting for the heat wave, waiting for the flash. Atomic lasers falling from the sky. Do you see we shall never be together again? Here comes that great wave, about as easy as a nuclear war. It shouldn't ever have to end this way. What a way to surrender. From where I stand, I can see the mushrooms in the sky, 2 suns in the sunset, days of no horizon. Mobs are looting, there's no more food. Headlong into the cloudburst naked, the people shout. Listen to them. Sure, you had better kiss your ass goodbye, the helpless with one human voice. There'll be no one left to hear how Sunday was hot, Monday was not. So that's just happened to work out. We're talking about music, and the poem is sitting right in front of me. So that's one of the ways music has come into my work. Do we have any people who really have a problem with cell phones? That's the one rule I have in the classroom is it's not like I churn my own butter. Okay, I'm not afraid of technology. I do embrace technology, but the rampant use of cell phones in our culture is making me a little crazy. I can't go to the movie theater without somebody, and I feel like I have an attention deficit sometimes because that little screen is so bright. You have this big looming screen in front of you, and I find myself looking down, and I can't concentrate on the movie. Or you're at a restaurant. I don't need to hear about, I'll pick up a gallon of milk. It's everywhere. So I wrote a poem about this, and again, we can tie this to music because it's called Song of the Wireless Man, and it's kind of a Whitman thing. So we'll bring Uncle Walt back into this, and it's really my rant. I make sure that I give this poem to all my students so that they understand that, I really don't like cell phones sometimes. I use one, but only as kind of a necessity. Hey, there is a video out there where somebody, believe it or not, I get sucked into YouTube. YouTube is really the devil. It sucks me in, and there's a video out there where somebody has triangulated 3 cell phones and they can pop a kernel of popcorn with it. So what do you think that, everybody's going to wake up one day and they're going to have a tumor the size of a tangerine on the side of the head, at the side of their head where they're holding the phone. I mean, I think, yeah, there's definitely radiation that comes off of it. So this is called Song of the Wireless Man, various kinds of cultural illusions at work here, and there is definitely some music in this. There's even a quote from Rapper's Delight in here, believe it or not. All right, so Song of the Wireless Man is broken into 3 sections. 1. The world around you and me, wireless life of broadband pollution. Liturgical, your emails and returns from hibernation, our hands wave to XP canticles, techno harpsichord calls I hear in dreams. Fugues ringing from the street, LCD in the grocery store, the park benches beeping. Solitude has become a peptic ulcer with an earpiece of unanswered hellos, goodbyes, sirs, yeses, nos. Show me the wallet pixels of your wife. Two-way her. Let me speak contrapunctus to the speaker and say how you are an umbilical backspace key. Go on manner mode, wireless man, set all calls to vibrate. Let go the voicemail and listen. 2. Do you see everywhere wireless? OK Corral Verizon's hip-holstered, cameras upskirting tumbleweeds, and what surveillance goes on behind saloon doors when man takes off his bandages and becomes invisible at the movies, new sheriff phosphorus in the aisle brighter than the big screen. Nokia Netsky, enter the mobile dragon. You gamer, you text messenger. Are you talking to me? There's no one else around. Make your move, flip the razor, and get more minutes. Roll over, night and weekend. There are no witnesses when the buffalo roam, when the single switchblade sprints at the innocent. You are loud and lawless, you patriot, and should be jammed with an ode to joy kicked to your seat. Can you hear me now? 3. The trees are not telephone poles unrealized, to be cut wireless, man, smooth from roots. The forests were not all grown to carry contracts and proposals and digital cans to restaurants. Let me eat in pieces the hills of upstate New York. The deciduous mountains of New England will not be off-peak even after millions of your children have gone the way of the zero. Just 1 cup of cafe coffee should be placid, not ripple, hippity, delicious, and fat ebbs of Rapper's Delight, baby, baby, bubba. Look away from the satellite and leave the cirrus as they are. Do not attempt to find hybrid ways to store your data behind a trail of Wi-Fi moisture miles above your wireless cousins in their flying casinos. Oh, cell phones.
There's positive and negative sides to cell phone, just like anything else.
Sure, absolutely.
The negative side is they've done some research now which shows that with the current generation or the last 2 generations or whenever cell phones came into being, it's interfering with their development in terms of being able to talk to people face to face on a one-to-one basis. Because they're all the time texting or they're all the time on the cell phone, and we've gotten away from talking to people and looking at them.
Well, did you see the latest study in Britain? Rickets is back. When was the last time you heard about rickets? And why? Because there's a certain kind of solipsism that's working now, where people are tethered inside the homes to the technology, and not only is it contributing to a social breakdown in a lot of ways, but it's actually resulting in vitamin D deficiency, because a lot of these kids are not getting outside in the sun. It's kind of a fascinating thing, but the thing that, more to your point, that I worry about is when you're breaking language down into what is it, I don't text message, so I don't know, what is it, 140 characters or 160 characters, you're losing an entire spectrum of language. And if you're familiar with 1984, there is an element about this. There is somebody's going to control the discourse, and it ain't going to be you, right? And, I try to but you try to tell young people that, and yeah, you know, I'm really starting to sound like my father. I thought I would never reach that point in my life, but I'm there.